first day done, plenty more to come. Beautiful weather we're having already, and it looks like we have a few more days of this, but then it gets nasty. So we're gonna enjoy it while we can, but for now, good night's rest, and then we're gonna see how far we can make it down the Rio Baker tomorrow. So stoked to be out here. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Good morning, everyone. Well, we slept in, but I got amazing sleep, so it was worth it.
All right, let's take a look at the map here. We're way down here in the southern regions of Chile. Flipping over to Gaia, which is the map that we're using for this. We put on near the town of Cochrane, and we're here on the Rio Baker River, having done about 6 kilometers so far. For the rest of the trip, we plan to make our way down the Rio Baker. These are all notable features, obstacles. This one being a class 5 that we have to portage. Making our way to the Ventisquere, up 20 kilometers up this river. We're gonna have to cross over it multiple times. It's gonna be very challenging. It's gonna be the most strenuous part of the trip. Up to this glacier-fed lake, and look, this massive glacier feeds it. Beautiful mountains surround this lake. So excited for that, and then hopefully we're gonna make our way up to this glacier lake as well. Camp here, that's another massive glacier. This area is relatively unexplored. It's just a challenging trek to get up there, so you can see it's surrounded by big, beautiful mountains. Afterwards, making our way back down the Ventisquere, down the Rio Baker, and if we're able to, make our way all the way to the ocean. This is the Pacific Ocean. This is salt water here. Once we get to a big obstacle, I deflate this, take everything out, I roll this up, and I can put it on my back. This trip would be impossible with a traditional canoe. They're just too heavy, too cumbersome. It's a hike 20 kilometers upstream with the canoe on your back, plus all your gear. No thank you. But with a pack raft, it makes everything possible.
Okay, that's good.
Back on the water, it's about 10. We are gonna paddle all day. We're gonna paddle. We wanna make it as far as we can because the Rio Baker is gonna be the easy part. Heading up the Ventisquere, the hiking and trekking part will be the most difficult. So we wanna get there as soon as we can, so we give ourselves the most opportunity and the most time to be successful. So today we paddle. Already starting to see some beautiful snow-covered peaks off in the distance, and we'll be amongst those in a matter of days, maybe even as early as today. Cool thing is, about 7 months ago, I was up in the Yukon Territories in northern Canada, and each paddle stroke I made on the Snake River was the furthest point I'd ever been north in my entire life. Now I'm here on the Rio Baker of South America, and each paddle stroke I make is the furthest south I've ever been in my entire life. Pretty surreal. We're coming up to our first set of rapids. It's a class 2, and from here it looks really sketchy. Plus all the winds blowing everywhere, it makes for it a really difficult read. Made it through our first set of rapids, just a class 2, but it was very voluminous water. Honestly, I didn't feel like I had much control over the boat. I did feel very stable. This is just all buoyancy. It's just 2 massive airbags that's really low to the water. So I feel very stable in this thing, but I didn't feel like I had much control. I just went where the water took me and got it on the other end. Absolutely loving these campsites that we have had so far. Reminiscent of southern Ontario and the deciduous, grassy fields that you'd experience down there. I've never got to camp in southern Ontario before. It's incredible because it's February right now, mid-February, and back home it's -20. And yet I'm here on the banks of the Rio Baker in southern Chile in Patagonia, enjoying this midsummer sun by this beautiful campfire. Life's good. Life's really good. It's been raining a little bit, so the water's a little silty, but we're just drinking it straight from the river, and it's perfectly safe to drink.
Such pure water.
Chicken operator today, baby. Woo! Getting into bed a little earlier tonight. We didn't get out till about 10 a.m. this morning, and we really want to make some distance tomorrow, so the plan is to get up a bit earlier and hopefully get to the Rio Ventesquere, the confluence of it, tomorrow evening. We have a few obstacles along the way, including a big portage around a massive rapid, and then I think a class 3, which we're both a little apprehensive about, considering that class 2 today felt extremely hairy. So nothing like a good night's rest to refresh the brain. So for now I'm going to turn my head off and drift off to sleep. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night.
Looks like a beautiful day outside. It rained a little bit last night, but I got a decent sleep. Ready to eat some breakfast and tackle the next 30K.
Back on the main branch of the Rio Baker, we had a little side stream that we slept on last night. Had a great night's sleep, but we're back on the river. And the beautiful part about today is not much headwind. Very little right now. So we're just going with the current and we're making good time, better time than we did yesterday. And we're not even paddling. The river's so voluminous that all these swifts have these diverging currents which create boilers, which is water seeping up from underneath other flows and kind of bubbling like it's boiling, and it makes for a very unstable and unsettling paddle. Unfortunately, these crafts are very buoyant and they feel fairly stable, but I feel relatively out of control at times, especially when the currents converge and diverge and boil from underneath. We're about a kilometer away from a class 3, and judging from the satellite images, it looks a lot hairier than the class 2 that we ran back there. Yeah, oh boy, he's right. It's just going to be big water, but with all the foils and all the converging and diverging currents and all the water coming through here, it's yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. So the goal is to make it on the other end in the boat. If you come out of the boat, stay with the boat, stay with your paddle, and everything should be good. I got everything locked in here. up here? Woo. Yeah, I'm glad you kept your paddle. Yeah, buddy. You good?
No let go yet.
Yeah.
Man, this thing is so sketchy.
Dude, I almost flipped like 3 times too.
I was so close, I hit a big wave.
Dude, me too. Nice, turn looks clear. Good stuff.
Patagonia, you wanna kill me?
Yeah.
That was wild.
Can't capture the camera because it's too far away, but over on the other bank there's a group of 4 horses. Around here there's farms and open ranging stuff and the cattle, and all of them they can just like roam free. So it's cool to see these 4 horses out here. They might as well be wild the way they live their lives out here in Patagonia. Just over yonder is a class 5, which basically means it's a massive waterfall. Considering there's this amount of water going through it, it's just deadly. So we're looking for a portage to make our way around the kilometer-long rapid, and hopefully with ease. Might be right here. So this here is the benefit of the pack raft. That's the pack raft. These are my paddles. And I can fit all of that on my back with ease. It'll be so easy. Whew. About 800 meters of portage coming up, and we'll see. Well, everything's sitting really well, though it is quite heavy. I'm guessing I'm 30 to 35 kilograms right now. It is very heavy. Fortunately, this is not Aconcagua. We're not at altitude. This is relatively flat. So I'm happy. He's just showed me these. These are an edible little flower, apparently at least. Fuchsia. Good water. Oh my God. Whoa. 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 Maybe I shouldn't have my big camera. Well, we almost made it to the Ventesquero. A few more kilometers to go, but we found this sandy pitch right here across from this waterfall in this beautiful mountainous area, and we just have to stop. Sausage, biscuits, and gravy.
It's 100% one of the best campsites I've ever been.
Yeah, this is easily one of the best campsites I've ever been to.
What a day, eh?
Great day, man.
Damn, big water, man.
You went for a little swim.
I did go for a swim.
I remember looking back and you were just like, you're good, and then I looked back again and the thing was upside down. I was like, oh! Yeah, there goes these. It felt like going up a hill.
Yeah. Mountains of water, you know? Nuts.
Didn't look like it from the shore, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't make it to the Vente Scare today. Still have 5-7-ish kilometers to go, but you know, when opportunities arise, you gotta jump on them. And this is all those. This stuff like the sand. Absolutely insane. But we'll paddle out to the Vente Scare tomorrow, and be up and on our way into the mountains.
Good morning, everyone. The next day. It's official. Big day today. Stark contrast from Aconcagua. I'm getting 1s and 2s on the mountain. I'm getting 90s.
Big day today. Big day. Well, we made it out of the dodgy, narrow area where the water was so voluminous and the channel was narrow, and we're in a much more open plains type of area. I think we'll be coming up to the Rio Vente Scare very shortly. Will be a nice change of pace. Rio Baker is voluminous and intimidating. Alright, we made it to the mouth of the Vente Scare. I'm hauling most of my gear up. Ease has ditched some gear here to save some weight, which makes sense. I couldn't really pick through most of my stuff. I'm going to bring everything, so I'm going to bring everything up to my better judgment. We have roughly 20 kilometers of upriver travel to do, many river crossings, and about 300 meters of elevation gains. Not a ton, but not nothing. It'll be a haul of a 2 to 3 day trip. Cool thing about pack rafting is in the middle of your trip you can throw down a 20-kilometer long portage over 2 days and have it not being that big of a deal. In a canoe it would take a week?
Yeah.
A week? Alright, 3 kilometers in, about an hour, first crossing. Back on our way, about 4K in. We're hoping to do about 10 total for the day. Progress is good. The crossing wasn't bad, but it seems like we'll have 5, 10, 15 crossings total to do. It's all about efficiency. But yeah, the goal is the lake up here. See this snowy peak right here? Just on the other side of that snowy peak.
and just before this one. So there's a beautiful lake nestled in there, in which we hope to explore, hopefully tomorrow. We're trying to gauge where to go based on satellite imagery. There's only so much data here, and there's only so much you can read from an image from space. On my map, it looks really clear and open, but then you get down here and it's kind of like this. So far, the going's been great, though. No complaints from me. It's been really good. Well, it's about 6 p.m. and we made it 10 kilometers for the day, which is amazing considering we started hiking just before 12. So 10K in 6 hours. Plus, we had a little bit of an incident. We were having a little bit of a break back there, and I realized I didn't have my tripod on me, so we had to hike back 2 kilometers using Gaia GPS to track exactly where we had been, and luckily I found my tripod deep in the bushes, and it was kind of a miracle, to be honest. So a little bit of rigmarole, rolling back onto that away, but we got her done, and we got the tripod back, and all's good. But we have a bit of a bushy campsite for the day, but it's even an adventure unless you have a bush site. Probably not. So this Durson Dome is the best tent I've used in a long time. I absolutely love it. For a single man freestanding tent, it's sick. I'm so good with it. Good size, great weight. I love it. Easy to set up. Hey guys, real quick, I gotta show you something. We have a video sponsor for the day, and that's Element. Everybody knows the importance of replenishing your electrolytes. When you sweat, you lose electrolytes. You lose salts and other things that you need to replenish. Very important. Otherwise, muscle cramps, headaches, general fatigue, very common. So when you sweat, you lose that water, you lose that salt, you need to replenish it. This is where Element comes in. Element is an electrolyte drink mix, and Element tastes great. There's 8 flavors, I love them all, and that's important because if it tastes good, you want to drink it. So I find myself drinking a lot more water, which is very important for me because I don't find myself hydrating as much. So not only am I getting my electrolytes, but I'm drinking more water and I'm staying nice and hydrated. Very, very important. On top of that, these things weigh next to nothing. So I could pack in a couple dozen of these on my trips, and I'm drinking lots of water, replenishing my salts, having a good time. Before, I was drinking things like those plastic sprays with concentrated drink mixes in them, and those are full of sugar, artificial colors, and they just ramp you up in a weird way, make you feel all jittery, and then make you crash. Element, no sugar, no artificial color, none of that dodgy stuff. I'm very happy to be packing Element in my bag. It was such a great find for me, and I'm really happy to share it with you guys. If any of you guys are interested in trying out Element, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, use the link down below, make a purchase on the website, you get a free sample pack. One of each flavor, all 8, absolutely free. So go use that link. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you Element for sponsoring this video. Yeah! Oh, get in! Woo! Woo! Whoa, hit it! That's so cool! Oh, that's cool. Well, we made it halfway up the Rio Ventesquero without too much of a hassle, which is a good sign, meaning the likelihood of us getting up to the glacial lake is pretty high. The unfortunate bit is that there are still strong southwesterly winds over the next few days, as has been happening throughout this trip. And the glacier on the far side of the lake is to the north, which means that the 6-kilometer paddle from the entrance of the lake to the far side will be quite easy with the tailwinds, but it'll mean that in these pack rafts, it's virtually impossible to paddle back. The winds just take these small little crafts and eat them up, and sure they do well in the rivers, but on flat lake with strong winds, they don't do so well. So we will see what we can do about getting to the glacier tomorrow. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So,
Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine. Rise and grind.
back on our way. 10-ish K to go. Out bright and early. It's around 9 a.m. Already made our first river crossing of the day. It's a beautiful morning. Nice to be on the trail. I got a great night's sleep. Everything is great until it was bum bum. We got a bit of a demanding river crossing. We can't go up this way any further. We have to cross this strong current to the other side, but it's on an outside bank, so the river is flowing quite fast on the far side. So we have about 50 meters to make it to this rock landing. If we don't, we're gonna have to beach on this outer bank, which is also very steep and kind of insecure. Worst comes to worst, we're gonna drift down a little bit, collect ourselves, and try a different way. Woohoo! Nice! Oh, that was great! Woo!
Nice fly.
One of many for the day. We're walking through this moss for the last 10-15 minutes, and it's exhausting. It's like walking on a massive kitchen sponge. It just takes all the energy out of you.